Hey guys, over the last few months, Jason Blundell has been doing interviews with GameSpot and also Game Informer regarding zombies for Black Ops 4. And we all know how Jason is. During his interviews, he definitely likes to give clues. Sometimes he'll wear shirts, sometimes he'll blink Morse code, you just never know. But what we do know is that he likes to take these opportunities to tease the audience. And recently, he's been up to his old tactics during an interview with Game Informer and also GameSpot. Game Informer has been covering Black Ops 4 information for the last few months, and they did an interview with Jason Blundell in early September. They were talking to him about some exclusive coverage regarding one of the Black Ops 4 trailers. And he's sitting at a desk with all these monitors around him, and there's also some pictures in the background. If you'll notice the monitor behind his right shoulder, there's an image on it. It's a little bit difficult to see what it is because it's been brightened up so much. At the time that they had posted this interview on their YouTube and also their website, we had no idea what this image was. And even after this image was revealed to us much later, I don't think that anybody realized that he was actually showing this to us earlier on during this Game Informer interview. So this interview was posted September 4th, earlier this month, and you can see him sitting there with that image behind him, and it was the artwork to the Mad Hatter song from Avenged Sevenfold. This interview went up on September 4th, and on September 13th, Avenged Sevenfold started to post these puzzle pieces on their Instagram that were a part of this image. After these puzzle pieces were released, there were some community members scrambling to put them all together to see what the image was. And it's just funny to look back and see that, yeah, Jason was teasing it the whole time. There were some other monitors and also pictures in the background during this interview, but the other ones we've already seen, and it's been revealed through like comic books and also posters. The pictures on the wall are the first set of Zombies comic books, and it's the artwork of the cover. The monitor to the very far left is just the Blood of the Dead poster. You can clearly see that. And then the one that is directly behind him, that is actually the Voyage of Despair or Titanic poster art. So there's no other little Easter eggs to find in this scene. It's just that one monitor. After Game Informer had done this interview with Jason, they did a podcast, and they do one every week. It's called the Game Informer Show. And one of the podcasts that they did a couple of weeks ago, they specifically talked a lot about Black Ops 4, the Blackout mode, and also zombies. During their zombies conversation, they said that they got to meet Jason. And during this interview with Jason, he had told them that he did a GameSpot interview earlier on this summer. And during that interview, he was dropping hints about zombies. I'll let you guys listen to exactly what they said about that.
Like, Jason gleefully told us when we were like talking to him that he likes to play with people too. Like when he was talking about his interview with what was it, GameSpot? He was like, "Oh yeah, I was leaving clues and notes and stuff during that interview, winking at the community." So
he said that Jason did an interview with GameSpot, and during that interview, he was leaving clues and notes for the community about zombies. Without Game Informer mentioning that during their interview, I doubt we would ever pick up on the clues that were in the GameSpot interview. It makes me wonder if he was tipped off to say that so that we would, catch on and actually go check it out. So naturally, I headed over to GameSpot's website, and I did find an interview that they did. It was called "The Madmen Behind Call of Duty's Zombies Tease Black Ops 4 with Lots of Jokes." This interview was conducted August 17th, 2018, so just a few weeks before that podcast, and they titled it "A Thing Will Be Revealed." So the interview starts off with them introducing themselves in the new Zombies mode, and then the first question talks about the Ether and the Chaos storylines, and Jason confirms, yeah, there is no connection between the two whatsoever. The interviewer asks some pretty basic questions, and there wasn't a whole lot that stood out to me. They did talk a little bit about the Easter eggs that are going to be on Blood of the Dead. The question was, are there Easter eggs in Blood of the Dead that fans can look forward to? And Craig Houston answered. He said lots. I think the thing we started talking about was, over these last 10 years, the Ether story involving Richtofen and Dempsey, Takeo, and Nikolai has been a very involved, time-traveling, multi-dimensional thing of craziness that has a beginning, middle, and end, but we left a lot of very deliberate gaps so that we could revisit, and Blood of the Dead is definitely one of those. It's nice to see the speculation in the community about exactly where it sits in our chronology, all will be revealed. But in terms of Easter eggs, it's going to change people's understanding of some of the things we have seen and perceived so far. Then Jason interjects and says, in the article, can you put a little star next to the bit where Craig says all will be revealed? And it says, Jason says, not really. Craig responds and said, lots will be revealed. And Jason says, yes, some things will be revealed. If Jason is giving some clues inside of this article, the way that I read into this is he is saying that some things will be revealed on Blood of the Dead, which means not everything will be revealed. That leaves it open for future maps with the Premise crew and also the Ether storyline. If they're saying there is a beginning, a middle, and an end, then we do need to get to the end at some point. And if Blood of the Dead is not getting us to the end, then there has to be more. And maybe this is one of the clues that he spoke about putting into this interview. The next few questions we're talking about their writing and some of the things they've done in the past, and I didn't find anything too interesting, but the one thing that I feel like is 100% a clue is something that is at the very bottom. This whole part of the interview was just strange, and it really stands out to me, and the question was, what is the weirdest thing you thought of that still made it into zombies? Craig answers and says, thousands. I mean, the fact that you've got a golden spork in Mob of the Dead. And Jason says, oh yeah, the golden spork was good. The idea of a, 1960 when the spork was invented? I don't know. Craig responds and says, I don't know. And then Jason says, kind of a utilitarian utensil, the combination of a spoon and a fork. It just blows me away. Still to this day, it seems like a greater achievement than the moon landing. So first off, knowing that there are clues hidden in this interview, it makes you kind of read into stuff. And this part of the interview is just bizarre to me. They're just kind of going on and on about this golden spork from Mob of the Dead. Then Jason just carries on with this topic and interjects the moon landing in it somehow. It doesn't make any sense to me. Then they wrapped up this part of the interview and Craig said, yeah, and there's so many. I don't think there's a bar where anything is too silly. I mean, Richtofen cut out Maxis's brain and put it in a drone and then flew it into a dimensional portal. So if you can do that kind of thing, and Jason says, that's like a normal day at work. Some things that are odd to me and really stand out is the golden spork. To me, I feel like he is trying to tell us that the golden spork is coming back, and the way that GameSpot even put a picture of it on the interview page, I mean, that's like a huge clue. The other thing that stands out is him talking about Moon. Is it possible that Moon is going to play a part in Black Ops 4 in some way, and maybe even on Blood of the Dead? I don't know if that's possible based on how the story is laid out, but you guys know a lot more about that than I do, but I'm curious to see, like, yeah, was that a clue as well? The part about Maxis's brain being in a jar and on the drone, like from Origins, I don't know if that is a clue. It's very possible. So Jason's being cryptic here, but he's not making it too complicated. He's throwing the spork in our face in this interview, so it's pretty obvious, 100% that thing has got to be coming back. I implore you guys to read this entire interview and try to pick out the clues if there are more inside of it. I will link this down in the description. Definitely let me know what you guys think about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.
Thank you for watching Glitching Queen's video. Hoorah!